Welcome to Conversational Currency. I am your host, Shadeed Eleazer, and thank you for tuning in. Conversational Currency is the fastest growing platform that examines the value and importance of social skills for business in a digital era. Conversational Currency answers the question: if you had the ability to command the right words in the right moments to every man or woman that you encounter in a business setting, how would the quality of your life, your revenue, your experiences, and interactions improve? Today, we're going to discuss balancing friendships and entrepreneurship. Now, this is a very important topic and something that isn't heavily discussed or understood on the path to success. So, what we're going to learn and cover and discuss in this particular episode is the following: my simple strategy for auditing your current friendships, why success puts a strain on friendships, and understanding that dynamic of how things can change as you become more successful along the path of success. We're going to discuss the three types of people that you need in your life at all times, and a little bit more about friendships and how they all come together on the path to success. Now, the show notes for this episode will be available at www.mrshadi.com/. Friendship. This episode is brought to you by the new book by best-selling author Dorie Clark, that is Entrepreneurial You, and the masterclass that is soon to come up for the Entrepreneurial You book. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that communication is the highest leverage skill that you can develop in your path of personal growth. Now, I want you to look at the timeline of your life and the different experiences that you have encountered along your life's journey. So imagine the moments where you maybe needed to say the right words or convey the right emotions, or you needed to just step forward and be more assertive or aggressive to get your point across, or simply to establish your boundaries. And imagine the quality of life enhancement that you would experience by simply being able to convey the right emotions. The result, ladies and gentlemen, is that your social circle would heighten. In a romantic context, your love life would deepen. You'd have greater understanding of your partner, and you'd be in greater demand and positioned as the expert and or celebrity within your business or within your industry. The reality is that in today's digitally enhanced reality, social skills are eroding. And what does that mean? It means that in a world where men and women communicate with line of sight vision to their smartphones or to their tablets or to their laptops or to their desktops, the ability to connect with one another is starting to subside. So, conversational currency fills a stopgap for a cross section of people. So, I'll give you a couple examples. So, for my millennial audience who are raised in a reality where smartphones and the internet always a fundamental way of communicating in a way of life. Let's say you entrepreneurs who are millennials happen to uh, have 1 million followers, or you have a large following online, and you're getting to the point where, let's say, you want to sign a TV deal. The reality is that that same charisma that led to you gaining a large following now must be conveyed face to face with the executives and the producers that ultimately greenlight and finance the projects that will take your brand to the next level. So, being able to maintain eye contact, being able to develop and convey charisma, have a powerful aura, and a powerful magnetic presence, and just simply being grounded and not being rattled in the face of social storms and anxiety is your homework. That is something that's a gap that many people who, let's say, build businesses or build empires online often struggle with is the ability to get face to face and close deals and communicate their ideas in a way that allows people to buy into it. Now, for my older audience who may have developed internet technology or interacted with internet technology in their late teens, going into, in some cases, in their 30s, there's a whole new world out there, ladies and gentlemen. And let's say you're in a position where you are senior management and you bring on your intern. Now, your interns are responsible for helping the business get to the next level. They are managing social media, they are making the phone calls, they are taking care of all the follow ups that are necessary for the business to grow. And your intern likes to communicate via text messages. So you prefer to meet in person, at a minimum, talk on the phone, but your intern is texting away, texting away, texting paragraphs, emojis, and this type of communication is not something that you are accustomed to or conditioned to receive. So it causes stress and anxiety in your working relationship because again, you're used to direct communication, you're used to being face to face, and that's an adjustment that my older generation of audience needs to adapt to. So, conversational currency is your destination, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's switch gears and cover our healthy entrepreneur tip of the week. Now, what is the healthy entrepreneur? The Healthy Entrepreneur is a series I designed to improve the awareness of today's business community. In my work, mentoring business leaders all around the world. So far this year, I've spoken to 578 small businesses, strategy sessions, so on and so forth, and have worked with dozens other on longer projects. And my findings are that health is commonly viewed as an optional part of self care as well as peak performance. Now, improving your health, ladies and gentlemen, that's the life hack that I have for you. Focusing on your health and improving your health in many ways, mental health, physical health, vitality, is the fastest path to improving your life. Now, when you are on a path to success as a business owner, it requires an above and beyond mentality. You're not working 40 hours anymore. You're taking on the mindset of working until things are done. What happens is that when you work endlessly and you're developing unhealthy coping habits that manifest in the form of diet and lifestyle, it causes or results the engine that is your body, your temple, to operate in a less than optimal fashion. Now, let's say that these ideas on the whiteboard and the meetings with your team at the coffee shop actually result in breakthrough success. So your ideas, your partnerships, your products and services start to take off. Now, many people think, I made it. I'm here. I arrived. But this is actually the time when your body and your mind need you the most. And when you don't take care of your body, that is when your body will begin to fail you. It is my intent through the Healthy Entrepreneur to correct this deficiency through awareness and education. So, the Healthy Entrepreneur tip of the day is meditation. With the hectic pace and demands of modern life, many people feel stressed and overworked. It often feels that there's not enough time in the day to get the important tasks done. Our stress and its wear and tear on the body makes us unhappy, makes us impatient. It results in us being frustrated. And it definitely has an adverse impact on our health. We are often so busy that we feel there is no time to stop and smell roses and meditate. Meditation actually gives you more time in your day by making your mind calmer and more focused. Now, in terms of how long you need to meditate, I would recommend simply 10 to 15 minutes breathing meditation, and it will help you to overcome your stress and find some inner peace and balance. Another question you may have is, well, what type of apps or are there apps that can help me meditate? I'm on my phone a lot, and if I just have an app, can I use that to meditate? The answer is yes. There are apps that exist that track your meditation. There are apps that exist that help you to get into the zone that allows you to meditate. So there's multiple types of meditation that exist. Of course, you can use guided meditation, which would be another voice taking you along a path, calming down different energy centers of your body. And then you have the meditation where you're just to yourself, which requires greater concentration and being still, so you can utilize soft music, or you can meditate in pure silence. For many people who are always on the go, who are always working and ripping and running, simply being alone with their thoughts is the most distracting aspect. I'll say that again. Simply being alone with their thoughts is the most disturbing aspect. So that's where the discipline starts. And as you meditate more and more and build it up to a daily practice and habit by increasing the amount of time that you meditate and the frequency within the day and the intervals by which you meditate. So you may start off one time in the morning, and that will be it for the first week. And then you say, okay, I had a great feeling after in the morning, let me meditate in the afternoon. And then you start to build up momentum and you say, okay, now let's meditate during the evening. So now you're meditating 3 times a day at 10 to 15-minute intervals. And it's a great way to snap your body back and your mind back from circumstances that are taking you away from your center, away from your core, and away from your chief thoughts. So it's important to keep that in mind and to keep things going in terms of meditating and getting your balance. So using these tips, you can learn how to transform your mind from negative to positive, from disturbed to peaceful, from unhappy to happy. So that is today's healthy entrepreneur tip of the day. It is meditation. So if you have any questions about meditation, make sure that you reach out and contact me, and I'll provide step-by-step guidance. Also, make sure those of you who are watching the broadcast are sharing the broadcast so that more people who are overworked and stressed and are going through the entrepreneurial growth pains can also have that opportunity, not only to meditate, but also to gain value from this episode and the series of episodes that have been produced. So as I mentioned, our conversation in the evening is brought to you by the new book, Entrepreneurial You, written by the genius herself, Dorie Clark. Entrepreneurial You provides a blueprint, not guesswork, a blueprint for professional independence with insights and advice on building your brand, monetizing your expertise, and extending your reach and impact online. This book will be your hands-on guide to building a portfolio of revenue streams, both traditional and online, so that you can liberate yourself financially and take the driver's seat and shape your career destiny. Now, in this book, Dorie outlines the necessary elements and concrete tactics for entrepreneurial success. Ladies and gentlemen, she shares the stories of entrepreneurs of all kinds, from consultants and coaches to podcasters, bloggers, and online marketers who have generated 6 and 7 figure incomes. I personally believe in this book so much that I am leading a study group, a masterclass of the new book, Entrepreneurial You, for you to gain deeper mastery. I want you right now to go to mrshadeed.com/ha entrepreneurial you masterclass and sign up for the free masterclass and get in gear. So in our last episode, we discussed the power of words, icebreaker questions to form deeper connections with higher status people. And what we discovered and what we covered in the episode is the following: the fundamental difference between surface level small talk and icebreaker communication. We covered the value of open-ended communication, we covered how to overcome nerves and anxiety when communicating with important people. Now, it's important to note that surface level conversations, in terms of what we covered, are often seen as a necessary evil in the world of business as well as networking events. The scenario that you're up against is the reality that high performance leaders are in demand. They are approached all the time, ladies and gentlemen. So you have to be compelling and create new pattern interrupts, shake things up to get on the radar. My first tip is a spin-off of last week's advice in terms of what was being mentioned in terms of being in the present moment, putting on your blinders and tunnel vision. In this context, take a step back from your conversation and ask yourself, how can I add value to this person during this conversation? How can I raise the energy of this interaction? Within a moment, I want you to ask yourself a few questions, which are, what are they telling me? What are their words and mannerisms? What have I learned that I can share? What can they teach me that I do not know? Let's discuss the value, as a recap, of open-ended communication. When conversing with a high-status individual, you want to avoid any questions that lead to a yes or no conclusion. The best questions to ask are the type that require the subject that you're speaking with to recollect and tap into emotions. The most powerful emotions are those that are wrapped in past memories. For example, if I ask you, did you watch television this weekend? This is last week's example. Your response is one of the outcomes: yes, no, or yes or no, accompanied with a passionate response. Now, my audience watching this, and those that you who are watching this have shared the broadcast, of course. And we're go-getters, and we don't have opportunities to waste with great people. So we have to shift the odds and make sure our conversations hit home right away. So, using the previous example, if I asked you, what childhood television cartoon character did you always want to be like? What this does is it shifts everything. This invokes the memory of the excitement of going to bed on Friday night thinking about cartoons, waking up in the morning prepared to watch Saturday morning cartoons, also making a bowl of cereal possibly, and parking in front of the TV at 8:30. So all these different memories and recollections will come up as a result of that question. So you may even be recollecting the theme music of the cartoon, the voice and mannerisms of the cartoon, and finally, you get to thinking about the character itself. So it's also important to note that high status people are incredibly self aware. Asking them to reflect upon how their best qualities would improve someone else's life immediately causes them to picture someone important in their life. So in many cases, it could be a loved one who they wish was more confident, or a parent who they wish was better with money. So, in terms of questions that cause high status people to think about family, friends, so on and so forth, such as who is a family member who influenced you the most? The magic of this question is association. I want you to write this down. This was a key topic mentioned last week. When people evoke feelings because of you, they attach those same feelings onto you. I'll say it again. When people evoke feelings because of you, they attach those same feelings onto you. So it's very important to understand how high status individuals process, how high status individuals work, and understanding those qualities will greatly aid in your business and lifestyle efforts. Just want to take a quick moment and acknowledge that we are broadcasting live at the WBGR headquarters at Princess Garden. And brief history with WBGR is that the Godfather soul James Brown used to own several AM stations, one of which It's WBGR. It used to be headquartered in Baltimore, Maryland. James Brown would utilize AM radio to use those platforms as channels to market his albums and his concert appearances, and that's how he would sell out shows. He was one of the revolutionary artists who actually leveraged ownership as a channel to promote his music. So it's very important that this particular deal is taking place, and that's the important aspect of this particular opportunity. So there's so much more in store with the platform. There's so much more in store in terms of various outlets. And I thank you very much for your support. There will be links provided for you to sponsor the show from afar, and various opportunities for you to be guest hosts, to call in and provide your questions and answers, so on and so forth, and help conversational currency grow to the level that it deserves to be on. So, going into our topic for the evening, one factor that is often unmentioned or under discussed in detail as a fundamental key to success is friendships. We've all heard about hard work, establishing a vision, never giving up, but your friendships is what our focus will be this evening. The level of detail applied to this topic is the often repeated quote from the great motivational speaker Jim Rohn, who famously said that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So we've all heard that quote, and we have the t-shirt. Entrepreneurial School is one of the chapter 1. Keep in mind that human beings by nature are magnetic. We are pulled to ideas of greatness, and we are weighted down by ideas of mediocrity. The battle for your attention is waged by your decisions. Your peer group has a huge influence on the decisions you make. The quality of their decisions are like a weight. It's like a seesaw that will often impact the ratio of good decisions over bad that you ultimately will make. Let's go into the importance of auditing your circle. This is of huge importance towards your growth. And here's a simple exercise that I want you to make. I want you to grab a sheet of paper. I want you to draw a line down the middle of that sheet of paper. In one column on the left, write greatness. In the column on the right, write mediocrity. I want you to think. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to visualize your friends, your coworkers, your colleagues, even your family. Yes, your family counts too. Very much so. People love you the most, may weigh you down the most. So if someone can improve the quality of your life and help you reach greatness, they go into the greatness category, and your homework is to spend as much time as possible with them. For the people who you feel, for whatever reason, within your spirit, because only your spirit knows, and they're weighing you down either due to drama or negativity, they just don't understand your path. You place them on a mediocrity list, and they are now on the love from a distance list, which means you do not eliminate them entirely from your life. That's where people get this all confused. But you keep your interactions limited to small talk, meaning you are cordial and you do the majority of the listening. You interact with them at family events or gatherings with mutual friends. Most importantly, you do not, under any circumstances, discuss your plans, your goals, your hopes, or your dreams with those people. You have to understand that your ideas require incubation. It requires protection in order for your ideas to grow. And if you expose your ideas to people who are not ready to help cultivate those ideas and carry them to success, they're only going to take you one step back by a negative comment, or in some cases, some of the people we love the most give a negative comment in order to protect you based on their understanding of what you're trying to do. So if you're flying to California to do a major business deal and that family member has never been on a plane, they'll tell you that you shouldn't fly, baby. You should drive and don't mess around with airplanes. But you know that airplanes are actually safer and there's less airplane crashes than car accidents. So you're thinking forward, and instead of presenting your ideas for validation, you just support them, you love them, you listen to them, but you don't give the opportunity for someone to validate who you are. So let's briefly discuss the three types of friendships that exist in your life. You have proximity based friendships, those are alliances that are formed based on aspects such as the neighborhood you grew up in, your primary schooling, etc. Oftentimes, these friendships are intense during the time period that you are present and fade as you move away from that proximity. Next is experience based friendships. These are friendships formed through surviving a common experience. That could be military boot camp, that could be pledging into a college fraternity, that could be training martial arts together. Finally, we have personality based friendships. We encounter some people in our lives who are simply complementary to the essence of who we are. The essence of a person rarely changes, so this is what these types of friends connect to. Let's go into why does success put a strain on friendships? All friendships, ladies and gentlemen, are governed by an unwritten contract in which two people play specific roles. If one friend starts to expand his or her circle, invest the necessary sweat equity, and succeeds, then it rewrites the contract essentially without the consent of the other party. Whether we admit it or not, we have expectations on how the people closest to us are supposed to act. As we grow older as well, our time spent together is less, it decreases, and our priorities shift, which causes old bonds to slowly dissipate. The three types of people you want in your life at all times are as follows: a person who is younger than you, who possesses vision and ambition. Your job is to coach this young man or woman, and it serves two purposes. A, through this person, you're always practicing reciprocity. So you're giving knowledge, skills, experience to help them grow. B, the youth and energy of this person will keep you connected, keep your ear to the ground, keep you connected to innovation, new ideas, and trends that you otherwise wouldn't see on your own. Number two, type of person you should always keep in your life is an individual who is a peer. Both of you are on the rise. You show up at similar events, and your industry peers mention you both in the same sentences. This individual is your sounding board, and this can expand into partnerships. This is the fastest way to create partnerships with your peers. And finally, a person who is older and more accomplished in the area of mastery that you wish to duplicate. This individual serves as an aspirational model and can challenge you to rethink your efforts, your current position, and stimulate growth at a faster pace than you would have cultivated through your own efforts, your own energy, your own planning, and your own ambition. In closing, when it comes to relationships, we are greatly influenced, whether we like it or not, by those closest to us. It affects our way of thinking, our self esteem, and our decisions. Of course, everyone is their own person and their own individual, but research has shown that we're more affected by our environment than we think. This has been another great episode of Conversational Currency. Make sure you share the broadcast so that more and more entrepreneurs can get the message and improve their social skills for business in a digital era. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to spend time with me. And for that, I appreciate you. I'm Shadeed Eleazer. This has been another great episode. Over and out.